Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the weekly Stoke vlog edition. I'm so excited to have our co-founder and CEO, Geof Ochs, on to the vlog today, and we're going to talk a little bit about the culture, how the company has evolved, and the vision that it really started with. On top of that, I hope that you guys have been enjoying the recent vlogs where we've gotten to talk to some of our sync athletes, learn a little bit about COVID, and then also really get inside some of their World Cup starts. So, Geof, before we get started, welcome. Thank you so much for taking the time to come on. I hope that our community really appreciates getting to see a little bit of what sync is all about and the direction that we're heading.
Thanks for having me, Parker. It's excited to be here and talk through sync and give everyone a little bit of peek inside what we do every day.
So, to get started, when the company was founded, what was the vision? You were a current ski racer, you were a ski racer in college. What were you thinking? Was there something that we were missing that you wanted to address, or did you just have this vision for a ski racing company that you thought you could execute better than anybody else?
Yeah, that's a great question. To be honest, I was a mediocre ski racer at best, so I don't think that had any play in the whole vision and mission of the company. Um, what really launched this brand was recognizing a gap, in the ski racing market, and really thinking about these athletes as humans and understanding, obviously I traveled through with ski racing and like you do as well currently. And, those stories that you have traveling all over the world, over the country, interacting with teammates, peers, those are impactful stories that we wanted to tell and expose in through a brand. And that was, building a brand really based around that, a performance sport, and really telling like a really authentic athletic performance story is kind of how we decided to build the brand around ski racing. Um, you know, these athletes, like, as you know, are on snow 150 days a year, in and out of the gym 365 days a year round, right? So it's an intense sport. You have to be super committed to the sport, and really kind of, give up a lot to be, excel at a high level. And ultimately, I didn't, we just thought that there was an opportunity to really work with the athletes to build gear that they needed and deserved to really, excel the sport. When I was ski racing, I felt like, the gear was fine out there. It just really kind of did what it was supposed to, but really nothing more. And I don't think, as I've built, helped build this company with, the people involved, we've really recognized that ski racers appreciate innovation and, really want to be, on the forefront of innovation and have insight into the gear, building the gear. And I'm washed up, I'm way out of the sport. And having talking with athletes like yourself and World Cup athletes like Alex Lever and and Eric Arvidsson, and those are the athletes that really build this brand. I'm just here to sort of facilitate their vision and mission for the company. Ultimately, like, I kind of leave it up to you guys to tell me what to build.
It's really cool that the company is founded upon this culture of really prioritizing the athlete. I know you don't see that a lot of the time, and especially in ski racing, where you're producing gear and you're trying to get that high level all the time. So it seems like the culture is really important here at Sync. And so is that something that you notice is similar to like an athletic culture that you kind of provide for the company, or is that different?
Yeah, so I raced at Boston College, and I felt like that team environment. Those are still some of my best friends today, and 10 years out of school. And anyone who I think has competed on a team understands what I'm saying when you sort of when you have those relationships with those athletes. Yes, it's an independent sport, and you're kicking out of the gate by yourself, and it's kind of between the years. um on a lot of levels the sport is, but at the same time, having sort of that team environment that I've competed with, kind of like getting through the finish and like having your teammates there to like stoke you out. And maybe it wasn't your best round, you didn't feel like it was, but even just that support, it kind of, that was a great lesson, and kind of learning experience that I garnered through college ski racing that helped me, you know, build this company and work with my peers who all, a lot of them actually did ski race, but building a culture in sync is like a bit like kind of building a college ski team in the sense that you're sort of all, you all have common interests, but yeah, and you got to kind of manage expectations and, kind of see who's racing carnivals. And, it's just sort of like, it's a bit of there's a lot of similarities, I'd say.
Yeah, no, it's definitely neat to be able to step back and see as a ski racer now working in ski racing, getting the opportunity to see where you can connect and also seeing the opportunity of where you can grow. And that leads to my next question. You've seen a lot of success over the past couple of years with kids really grasping onto the quality and the mission that Sync really provides for the athlete in their performance. What do you see moving forward? What are the next steps that the company really wants to move to continue to reach this like high level of performance and success?
Yeah, I mean, I think the first part of that question really, that grasping onto the kind of quality and functionality is really like kind of what I was talking about before is those athletes, they're the ones that build the product. Like I said, it's not coming from, some random, insight that we had or something that I want to build. It's direct feedback from those athletes. And so, I would hope that they like it because they're the ones that built it, right? I think that that's kind of an important note in Sync's kind of genesis and origin story is that like we try and give complete control of the brand to the athletes and make sure that they're the ones, in charge of the future rather than us kind of telling them, hey, you need this because this sells, right? That's just not in our blood and our nature. Like, looking forward, I think that we hope to remain true to that, and always have an ear open to anyone who wants to tell us about their random insight about product that for some reason they're hitting the outside of their knee in a different way than everybody else, and we need to help fix that, or it's the evolution of kind of our cut resistant base layer and that progress and kind of working to improve that product as well. And so I think that like to your point, to your question, it's really, what does the future look like? Well, it's for one, it's athlete driven, 100%. And then I think it's continuing to innovate, really always, working together to build a better future for the sport, whether that's through gear or through access, or, I mean, we work with independent athletes to, extend their careers, and ultimately help them to get to the World Cup. And so, yeah, I mean, I think ultimately my, mission for this company is help every athlete reach their goal. And, I think that if we can do that, then we're doing something great for not only ski racing, but just, in general mountain athletes. And I hope that in the future, any athlete that, has a vision of themselves, on the World Cup stage, however old they are, can come to me and come to the brand and say, hey, Geof, hey, Sync, can we work together? Can I, how can we work together to get me to that, achieve that goal? So.
It's really cool to see that there's this foundation of the athlete's success really leads to the company's success, because then you're always going to have the athletes really trusting that you're going to have their best interests in mind first, and that's a truly special thing to have. And when you're choosing in the end what you want to buy, having that company trust, I think will be really beneficial for the company always. So basically, we've now talked about the beginning, the middle, and the end is where we're getting to now. What do you see as like end goal? Is Sync ever going to stop expanding? Is Sync going to stick with ski racing? Is Sync ever going to reach a part where you're completely content? I kind of hope not, because I love the way that the company is growing. But just curious, what is the big picture?
Yeah, totally. And, I feel like I'm beating a dead horse, but I think it's again just listening to the athletes, and I'm getting a little older away from, further and further away from the sport, and making sure that we're continuing to focus on that ski racer is always going to be sort of at the center of our bullseye. We always want to take care of them first. But I think that like, it's not a secret that you graduate from ski racing. I'm an example of that. Most of my peers and coworkers are all examples of that. And so what does that extension of your ski career look like? And I think that as we sort of do some research and talk to our peers and athletes who retired from ski racing, but still skiing is their number one sport. They're extremely passionate about it, and helping them still achieve their goals beyond ski racing. whether, that could be in skiing, whether it's big mountain skiing or recreational skiing, or, skiing with their probably families. I think that will become a big part of sync, is helping these athletes transition from ski racing into kind of, a more of a recreational, or more of like a professional, whether it's in the backcountry or side country, or resort skiing and riding yo-yos. That's a big part of Sync's kind of, I think, where we could go from here. But again, we're never going to lose sight of that, high performance mountain athlete, and, included in that is that ski racer. And so, I mean, as long as you are pushing your limits and trying to achieve a goal in some way, shape, or form, I think Sync is the brand to help you do that. So I think, we have some really cool things coming down the pipeline that kind of speak to sort of that level of intimacy with the customer, or our peers and network of athletes that have graduated from ski racing. I think that it would be a shame to, go your whole junior career from, 12 to 22 or 23, and then just drop off the face of the earth as far as Sync goes. Like, you just don't even touch the brand beyond that. I think that's a shame, because, honestly, like I keep saying, you guys were the ones that built it. So why not, let's work together to stick with it, and build a product that fits your needs, wherever you end up skiing. I think, well, the one common thread, I think, is that it'll probably be in the mountains, whether it's, on the skis or not. But um,
Well, Geof, that sounds extremely exciting. And I know that there are going to be a lot of people in our sync community that are excited to see how they can continue to stay a part of the sync community when their time in ski racing ends. So, being part of that will be something that'll continue to grow. And hopefully, everybody will be moving forward with the brand as well. So, that's everything I have for you today. Thank you so much for coming on and answering a couple questions and showing everybody how personal and intimate this company is with really trying to connect with the athletes and creating these relationships, that the brand creates this trust and shows everyone that you can have product that is meant for you to succeed, and that we have your back here at Sync. So thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. And to everybody listening, catch you all next week on the Weekly Stoke.
Thank you so much, Parker. I appreciate you taking the time as well.